What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Soul Talk. I am your host, Kennedy Scribe Castore. And today is a special episode because I got my boy on today. And he is amongst being visually handsome right there. You know what I'm talking about? The ladies go wild. Can't blame him, right? Amongst having that under his belt, he's got modeling talents, he's got acting talents, he's got talents. But what I love the most about him is that he's just really a solid person, right? He's somebody who takes his craft very seriously. And he's somebody who I would consider to be a rising star. Now, what a rising star is, right, is somebody that maybe every household doesn't know. So that has nothing to do with your ability, right? Maybe every household in the world doesn't know him yet. However, when they find out, whoo, sugar now. When they find out who my dog is, right? They're gonna be like, is him none other than Veon Selman. Now, you may have already seen brother. You may have seen him a couple times here and there, right? Whether it was in Deadly Attraction, Sugar Baby, Black Cats, White Mice, Slide, Love, Murder, Weed, right? Who? Somebody was smoking that tree. If you haven't seen him, you are going to see him because he's just that dope. So welcome to Soul Talk, Veon Selman. What's up?
Thank you. I am honored to be here, Kennedy. I didn't even know I could blush that much. I started to see the redness in the cheeks. Thank you. Beautiful introduction. Key word you said there was yet. We got high ambitions, high goals, and we are striving and working diligently to reach each and every one of them. If you haven't seen me, guys, you will soon.
Yeah, you gonna see him. Well, today we really just want to have a conversation, and I want to keep in mind, a lot of people hit me up, right? A lot of actors hit me up and reach out to me, and their number one question is like, how do I start, right? And I think sometimes as folks in the industry, right, we're like, what are you talking about? That's such an easy. What do you mean? How do you start? You just start, right? You just do this, and that, right? But I want to simplify this. In the military, right? You have Veon. We might get into that at some point. He has some previous military history.
Maybe, maybe.
We have this saying though that's called KSS. It stands for keep it simple, stupid, right? And I'm not meaning to call anybody stupid. Nobody's stupid. But the saying, though, still has a lot of value because what happens is, as we get into the process of chasing our dreams and our goals, we overcomplicate things, right? So I want to simplify it, right? If you're telling a brand new actor or actress and they came to you, Vion, and they said, how do I start? What's your answer?
Go to a theater and start acting.
Mm.
Craft is everything. It's everything. Talent will get you into a room, but it will not keep you there, especially in the times we are now. You don't need much talent anymore. You see how the internet is going with social media. You do something crazy, outlandish, something that people would react to in a certain manner, and it instantaneously. It's viral. But with acting, it still has a basis. And I would say it focuses on the craft. And the craft with acting started with theater. Find you a stage play, mom and pops. If the community got a play at the rec center, even if the church has a play, that's where I say start.
Mm.
And there's the other places that it leads to.
Mm-hmm.
But holding that craft, understanding fully the job you're about to embark. Because yes, I'm an actor. It's a cool job. I love it. Um, but at the end of the day, it is a job. It's a business. It's ran as such. So if you are, day-to-day life working a 9 to 5, and kudos to you, there's nothing against that. You have a certain guideline that you have to abide by to progress in a certain time frame, correct? Same thing in acting. Yeah. Getting the education where it's needed.
What stuck out to me is kind of two things, right? Well, one, we can go on a whole tangent about how so many people got their starts in church, whether it's singers, actors, or actresses, right? And your first church play and you doing Silent Night or whatever it is, right? You being the angel out there dangling around. or the local theater, right, as a kid, right, that concept, or even as an adult finding a local theater or acting class or whatever to start in the theater. The second thing is Denzel Washington a while back, this might have been last year, right, it was another clip, which there's a plethora of clips of Denzel that go viral, right, but this particular clip was him talking about how, he's not a movie star, right, and what he said was that film or television, right, is the director's medium, right, or the producer's medium for acting, right? He said he is a stage actor first, right? Because he got his start in theater. We see him all the time go, when he's off the big screen, he'll go back in theater. I think the most recent one, I forgot the name of the play, but it was with Jake Gyllenhaal. It was also something that Candy Burris produced.
Othello.
Othello, there we go. And so what I
She
find
actually I'm
Go
sorry to
ahead.
cut you off. She actually just joined the cast too, Candy
She did?
Burns, as
That
well
makes
as
sense.
producer. It makes
Yeah,
sense. I'm
yeah.
surprised though, but now she's taking on the role of stage. Because mind you, I just did a film with Candy,
Okay.
and she got some chops, but I'm curious to see her in a different light with that stage presence. As you know, it's a big difference.
It is a difference between theater and film, but what I find is this: theater actors transfer over to film and television so easy.
So
Like,
more sim correct, correct,
yeah,
correct.
like, versus the film
Dialing back is easier, expanding is a lot
is
harder, right?
harder. Is a lot harder because it's different. Because theater, you're acting for the person in the back. And then also, I love theater actors because I could be like, I typically have a 3 takes or less rule, right? And, like, that doesn't scare somebody in a theater because in a theater, you have 1 take.
Yeah.
That's it. Did like, you either got it that night or you don't. And if you don't, we gonna see that you don't really
Well
fast.
well well well, if you're a good actor, you won't.
Well, yes, but I'm talking about, like, the line call out, there still is
I got
people who do like the line call out, like, we're gonna notice that.
you're gonna get a full 2-hour conversation before you go to sleep that night, because we gotta do the
Mhm.
play tomorrow, and it can't happen again, so yeah.
Tough.
No.
But I think that is an excellent direction of, a starting point, start in theater. Beyond that, then I always tell people, right, there's, the movies and then there's the movie business or the film business behind thing. So the best thing that I could advise somebody who wants to get in the industry is really just study the business.
Yeah,
Oftentimes
definitely.
we see people get into roles, right? They get their quote unquote big break. And whether this is film, music, just entertainment in general, and they don't understand the business. And so, whether somebody's intentionally manipulating them or intentionally taking advantage of the situation or not, a lot of that could have been prevented had it not been for you understanding like the business, right? And if you don't understand the business, if you feel like you don't have the ability to process all of the information and make, then find you somebody who
Who knows?
does. And it doesn't have to be this big agent, right? It could be the friend that you knew who graduated college, who's, is studying right now in law school. It could be just somebody who started their own business, just somebody else who may be a little bit more knowledgeable about business practices than you. That's always my suggestion to actors when they're first starting off. Well, segue, right? All right. So we talked about the start, right? Let's talk a little bit about, where you're at currently in your career, right?
Of course.
What have you played that you loved and why did you love it? And then you can talk about what do you want to play?
Okay, so I'm waiting on my alright, let me start. I want to do my action film. If I don't do the one I'm attached to one, it's the theatrical.
Okay.
I'm just waiting on we're in pre-production. You know what that means.
Okay. Yeah.
Once that happens, if I don't write mine before then, that's the film that I want to do is the action film. What have I done recently? I just completed my 10th project for the year. This feature film is called Cutting Ties. It's Yakuza with a mix of Colombiana with a mix of American Gangster.
Okay.
And I play into the American Gangster parts.
Mm.
I don't wanna indulge too much of it, but it's gonna be a
He was
good
a
one.
gangster. You wear a suit.
I
Did you
wear a
get the
suit.
suit?
I get a
Okay.
suit, yeah. What they do, y'all lady, y'all be like this, the suit was suiting. right?
Suit was Suit.
Exactly. I feel like this role is a fun one to play because I got to age myself. I got to age myself to 48.
Okay.
So it's an older gentleman and it's different mafia ties to it. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. Got to get my head against, maybe a glass, maybe car door. I'm not gonna tell, but I think that's been the funnest one for this year thus far.
Okay. My question is why action? And what type of action, right? Is it Marvel action, superhero
Oh no.
action, or is
I like
it
military action. I like police, law enforcement action. Yeah, I grew up on Steven Seagal, so
okay?
surprisingly, that was my favorite action star from film.
Okay.
Um, they had minimal hand-to-hand combat. I did like Chuck Norris too, and Jai White as well, but as Spawn, that was a good one. But yeah,
Okay.
more so like gun action, more so than Marvel. I wouldn't mind Marvel though. I just had a table read for I can't say that. Something Man.
You had a table read. That's
Yeah,
it.
there we go. So it's coming. I was a little bit hurt when, Aaron Pierre got the series for the Green Lantern, but he got the animation version. So I'm not too mad yet because I
I,
want
I thought it was live action. It wasn't.
was it live
It's.
action? I thought it was animation.
We need to look it up. I'm gonna look it
Right.
up.
Please, because I'm gonna be hurt. I want that was my role. Like I let my daughter open up my action figure. I had a Green Lantern action figure, DC, that was never opened, collectible. And when I heard this news, I gave my action figure to my daughter and she opened it up. I was like, here, play with it now.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, unfortunately, sir. Um, Aaron Pierre plays Jon Stewart in the upcoming HBO live action Green Lantern series Lanterns, which is part of the new DC universe.
It's
So
called Blanter?
it's called Lanterns.
Lantern. All right.
But they can still do a movie and maybe he doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like you can still do it. We done had about 6, 7 Batman. So
Look, speak it. Speak it. Speak
it's
it.
not over. It's not
Not
over
over.
until
It's
it's
a
over.
palette.
It ain't
Look,
over
come on now.
until you hit the coffin, and we ain't doing that no
Look,
time soon.
there we go. There we go.
There we go. We can still do it. Yeah, we can still do it. We'll put it out there. And then you never know. It could be like Marvel, they do that whole little universe thing, and then they be having
Like,
3 of them
look,
pop up.
I didn't even know that they had the whole animation with Spider-Man. I didn't even know he was a part of the universe. It's like, okay, way to throw
There
it
we
in there.
go. Yeah, it still could happen. We're not disappointed about that.
Definitely.
Yeah, we good. Yeah. Alright, well, that makes sense. Action, shoot 'em up, bang, bang. I could see that type of vibe. So, what has been the most difficult part of being an actor in your process or
Hmm.
in your journey?
So the most difficult. Ooh, let me think about that one.
I got good questions, don't I?
You do because it's crazy because I don't really find stuff difficult. I just
Okay.
there's a way. There's always a way. People be like, "Hey, I didn't get this audition." Okay, you didn't get it. That's cool, but there's 99 million doors to the same place.
Mhm.
The
Well, let me
most Okay,
rephrase.
okay, I got
Okay.
one. 10-page montage, all
Ooh,
me.
yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, without studying that particular scene. I had a
That's tough.
headache for about 2 hours after the scene of cramming a 10-page montage with just me and yeah, hey guys, we got the iPhone 14 right here as one like infomercial almost. So yeah, 10 pages of that just item after item for a feature film. So
Mm.
yeah, I was an influencer, a web influencer.
Yeah, that's tough. That's yeah, that would definitely be difficult. What has been the most unexpected thing or experience about your journey? So meaning like before I started acting, I thought this and this was unexpected.
I thought when you go to sign a deal, it was glamorous.
What do you mean?
And what I mean by that is thought, going to a studio or getting the notion that you're getting ready to sign any type of paperwork, any type of deal with any film that will be like straight luxury, window pane glass, like just that picture, right? No.
What was
Paramount
it?
Par Paramount does a little bit different. I mean, you get the tour of the actual grounds of the studio lots and the stages with Dr. Phil was shooting his stuff. I don't know if he's still shooting today, but it was there when I went.
Mhm.
The little New York, Brooklyn set build up. So that was cool. But then you're taking to think about public school. I went to public school. You go to a
Okay.
classroom and you have a fold out table and some chairs that don't have any cushion in them. And it's you, a desk, and a white lady or whatever race you want to put over there. So yeah, that will probably was my most unexpected because my out views for that moment was
You was
totally
the champagne was supposed to pop and like,
exactly.
"Woo!" And nobody popped no champagne,
That was
nobody.
the case. No,
Yeah,
champagne
that's
got
tough.
popped because we learned the lesson quick. It take money to make money, and that's the real. That's why that was my first lesson about business.
Okay. And what did you take from that? So you said it take money to make money. What else did you get from that?
Money talk. I could have became a instant B-list actor in 2015. It's 2025 now, 10 years later. Instantaneously, I could have been on the map for 1.5 million.
And why did you say no?
Well, for one, I didn't think people who I had behind me would put that up behind me because I didn't know them for longevity.
Mhm.
I just start gaining these new connections. Two, the journey is what matters. I don't care what nobody say. That's the most um fulfilling part about this thing is the journey. It's not
Mhm.
about what role I get. It's about the process that it takes to get there. Right now I got daughters. I'm a girl dad, and I know they miss me right now because I'm home away for work. But I can guarantee you that they see what I'm doing, and it motivates them. My daughter, she did her first modeling show. I brought her to Atlanta because through the whole show, I was the main point of contact, and she fell in love instantaneously. Didn't have to show her how to walk or pose, nothing, just had it. So
Mhm.
they see it. You know what I mean? So it's little stuff like that. It's the journey, and that's not little stuff, but it's big stuff like that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's why we didn't go that route. So yeah,
Okay. Now you popped something else. Okay. So how important is career mapping? Because well, let me preface this. Everybody isn't on the same path when it comes to acting, right? Everybody is on their own path. And not even acting, entertainment. Everybody's on their own path and what it is that you want, right? Me and you, we talked privately about some of your goals, right?
hmm
You have very big goals as an actor. And so for those actors, some people are just on like, I just want to pick up a check, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily trying to get the Academy Award. I'm not trying to get the Emmy, right? And there's nothing wrong with that path. That's the path that they chose, right? But if you're on a path like you, right, where you're trying to get someplace, and the Academy Award is really just a representation, right, of the work. It's not saying you need that in order to be a great actor. How important is it to you to career map and be selective when it comes to your roles?
very important. Exclusivity still exists. A lot of people right now, especially in industry, are too saturated. They're oversaturated. I understand we all got bills to pay, but there are ways to find funding other ways. Yeah, sometimes I don't want to have to, well, I'm not no more, but when I did do it, I didn't want to have to drive Uber or get a job throwing tires or whatnot. I just wanted to solely, fully just act. But like I said, just like with a 9 to 5 or a 500 fortune company, you have a scale. That time scale matters. So the more time and investment you put inside yourself to this craft, honing it, the more leeway you get, especially when it comes down to negotiation, attractability, and people who want you as that movie star or that actor.
Let's talk about those times, right? Because that's the conversation most people don't want to have, right? They don't want to have the conversation that you might have this dream, right? And you still might have to work a job in the middle of you trying to work your dream, right?
Facts.
And for two parts of this conversation, Hollywood in the past has had this mystique like, oh, don't tell anybody you're working, right? You know what I'm saying? Don't tell anybody that you're not where you want to be at. Fake it till you make it. There's that part of it. And then the second part of it is how do you stay encouraged while you're becoming?
It's easy. For one, okay, I am on my 12th film for the year. December, I'll have my 13th. But to say that, I'm working BA right now. I'll be completely transparent. And BA is just brand ambassadoring, but it still has a tier inside my field. With modeling, when I started as a model, there's lifestyle, there's commercial, editorial, e-commerce, BA work as well. I come from the Midwest where we have the auto show. The auto show is BA work. And
Okay.
like right now, I'm working with a vodka company doing BA work.
Okay.
No, yeah, back in the day, don't tell nobody, you work and et cetera. I used to be like that too. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I would pick and choose what jobs I worked at
Mhm,
because I knew the bigger picture for Veon Selman, right? It wasn't that I was ashamed, I was tired because I've been here before, right?
mhm.
And what was the other part to your question?
How do
How
you
does it
stay encouraged while you're
You stay
becoming?
encouraged while looking at the small accomplishments. They all matter. That road that you sat there on that table read on that just led you to getting a film 3 months later, that matter. Embark on it. Remember it. Congratulate yourself for it. Go back to it. Because that small step just gave you a bigger step. Because that film you just got on just got you to a series, right? With success, you only want more success. Don't forget what success it took or what work it took to get to that success. That's the difference. A lot of people forget that work because
Mhm,
automatic, oh, I got this part right here. Okay, cool. Damn, now I ain't got nothing else. Or how do I get this? But you gotta remember the success you just had. Yes,
mhm.
success wants more success. You already passed a stage. So set a new goal to go for more success. But remember what it took to get there, because that's the character that's gonna build for you to stay.
Powerful. That's the summation. I think it's so important to celebrate your wins along the way. And even me, like I've had some pretty big wins, right? And when I was younger, I wasn't as great at celebrating those wins as they were happening because I was so focused on the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and I wasn't being present. As I've gotten older, I've gotten so much better of being present and realize that a small W is what's gonna lead you up to the big W, and you need to celebrate those small W's along the way.
Right.
Small W could be just as simple as, "I signed up for acting class."
Hmm.
Like, there's so many people who just never even start, like, that could be the W. "I got my first self-tape request." That's a
Yep.
W, right? And so
So it's funny because I said in school they never taught us nothing that relates to the real life. In a sense, that's halfway right. There's a few
Mhm,
things that people did lay on you. Oh, shoot, I'm about to forget my thought process. Hold on, I gotta come back to me.
it's
What did
okay.
you say just a second
I
ago?
said, "Celebrate the small wins along the way."
Right. Short term and long term goals. Remember you got taught that in class? Those long term goals, all those short term goals are those small wins to get to that long term goal. You set a 10-year goal and a 5-year goal. It's the
Mhm.
same difference. So yeah,
What do you feel like is the most underrated skill as an actor?
most underrated skill, choices.
Okay, why?
Because the director already has a vision sometimes not every director is like this, but usually when they have a picture or it's where you use the choice, right? Because you might do a take and do the exact choice the director want, but it's the perfect take. Now we just switch into the next frame. Let's get the two shot, right? We're going to
Mhm,
close. But with that, you got to do exactly what you just did, and you can't try the choice that you wanted to choose.
mhm,
That's why I say that.
okay. I I like that. I'm gonna say listening.
Listen.
Listening is the most underrated skill that an actor and actress, at least from what I've seen, can have. And the reason why is because a lot of people read, but they don't listen.
Mhm.
And there's a difference,
A, lo- a
right?
lot of a lot of actors just read and don't listen.
They don't listen. So, usually what I'll be like, "All right, so if we were having a conversation, right? You know what I'm saying? Like this scene was happening in real life, how would you respond?" Right? And then just immediately doing that, I'm like, "Oh, okay, now you're listening because you're processing, you're understanding the scene, you're understanding the character. What was the character doing before the scene? What was the character doing after the scene? What motivated the character in like that to me is listening. That's beyond like reading, right? And so yeah, listening. And that I feel like that is the most underrated skill in life is to listen. We got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Everybody wanna talk, not everybody wants to listen. I can even go in on, like, a small level, right? When I send out, like, casting notices,
Mhm.
man, people don't listen to directions. It'll literally say it on there. Like, it'll be like, email, headshot, resume, right? Real. Like,
Hey, what do I need to apply for this right here? Boom.
and then the email address will be on there, and then be like, "Where do I send it to?" But did you listen? Like, did you listen? Or it'll be like, "Send this in by da 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 time, right? On da 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 day."
But that's I would change that statement. I would say not
Okay.
so much listening, but following directions. People feel like following directions because I'm an adult. I have freedom. You can't tell me what I can and can't do when I can, right? So I think that switch doesn't fully turn off. And when they see certain instructions, they automatically go to that adult mode, like, oh, I do this on my own time. Or I wonder, I'm not going to read this, even though I know I'm supposed to send it to this email
You
right
get
here on here, but I'm going to email her instead or text her instead. Hey, what's the email that I should put in the subject? Or so I think I don't know, but I get you with listening too, because a lot of people just have conversation. By the time I finish, before I even finish my statement, you'll cut me off, right? I won't fully get across the full thought of what I was thinking, because we could be saying the exact same thing, but we're not listening to each other to understand. So I agree, but with acting, I wouldn't say listening is the most underrated, even though, well, yes, it is, because I mean, I use active listening. Acting
You're
is
good at
active.
it though, but great
Yeah,
actors listen. Great actors
yeah,
listen, so that's what I'm
because you
trying
have
to say.
a
You
lot of
have to.
people wait because a lot of people, they'll wait for that, "Oh, hey, what's the last line? Race, track, boom. Now let me say my line. Yeah,
They're
we were over there
listening
yesterday," right?
They're
That's
listening to respond and not listening to understand. When I'm in a scene, I well, the other thing is I already got my lines. Like, all right, being off book is that's step number one, right? Like, boom, right? You don't get to play unless you're off book. So I'm
facts.
listening to understand. I'm locked in this scene because I'm like, maybe you do something, right, that indicates whatever I'm going to do or how I'm going to move in a take and etc. Right? Like on bigger sets, depending on the director, obviously, but on bigger sets, they have like 6, 7 cameras rolling at the same time. They usually don't have to do the same take again. So
It's multiple, right?
if we say, "Let's go for another take," they're looking for are you going to do something
Something
different?
different, right?
And the only way you can do something different is if you're listening to understand and not listening just to respond. You're so busy trying to give your line instead of like, what is actually taking place in the scene? What is this person doing? What is this character doing? How are you
And
guys responding?
I see that more than none in the independent world, more than none.
It is at an all-time high in the independent. I've seen it, but you'll see it even on some major sets. Not
I'll say
necessarily on your Go ahead.
you go ahead, ladies first.
Not necessarily on maybe number 1 on the call sheet, right? But, like, I'll catch some scenes in there, number 4, number 5, and I'm like, "Okay, we were just responding." Or when they have their quote unquote "pop-ins," right? Like, the artist turned actor, actress, like, I can immediately tell, like, you're green right now, you're green. You didn't fall off the screen, but it's giving green.
I'll say you can honestly tell on your pickup
Mm,
who's listening to understand, because they'll pick
mhm,
exactly where you need to pick up from, right? If you say, "No, go back to the lines that was 3 lines ago," and they automatic boom, okay, they're listening to understand because they
mm,
know the script in and
mhm,
out.
mhm,
It's those when the pickup is hard, that's how you know if they're listening for that last word to respond. That's what I've seen throughout
mhm.
my career, but yeah, we're on the same page. We definitely on the same.
We locked in. On this show, we have a particular segment called Top 5.
That's
So
fine. Man,
I'm a
there you go.
do your top 5. So we come up with like a category, right? I try to make it like a little bit difficult, right? And then you give me your top 5. It doesn't necessarily have to be in order, but like this is your top 5. So I'll give you an example, right? And then we'll let you take a stab out of it. So category, I could be like top 5 sports movies. And then I would say Imma go with Remember the Titans. That's off the top of my head, like, that was up in there. Imma go,
Are we filling each other's top 10, or we got our own top 5?
no, you get your own top 5. Everybody got their own top 5, right? Some of them might be duplicates, right? But your top 5 is your top 5, mine top 5,
I'm
my
about to
top 5.
copy all yours.
Oh, no, 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 because 'cause Imma give you your own category. Top 5, yeah, top 5 sports, I'm gonna go, Remember the Titans. I'm gonna go to The Sandlot because that was legendary. Sandlot it goes crazy. Imma go that movie Pride is one with Terrence Howard
Yeah.
in the swimming. I'm gonna do that for the swimming. Imma do the one with Brad Pitt, the baseball one. I forgot what it's called, but it's a
Yours?
base
Okay, okay, okay.
it is a baseball one, and then I'm gonna go 42 with R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna take 42 from you. Hardball,
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Reeves, Glory was it Glory? Was that the other football one with the big guy? He was real super good.
Glory was a Denzel Washington movie. I don't think that was called Glory.
Oh, it sure was. What was it? Blindside. There we go.
Blind, so that's a good one.
What's that, 3 of them right there? Damn,
Yep.
you took a damn lot. That's cool. Talladega Nights. Come on now. Put some comedy up in there. Rick and
What?
Bobby. Rick and Bobby.
That's
Um,
crazy.
not first, you're last, okay? If you're not first, you're last. Let me see. You saying sports, racing it, race car? That's NASCAR. It's racing.
It is.
Coach Carter. Come on now. Samuel L.
Okay.
Jackson.
Alright, Coach Carter. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, yeah, Coach Carter. You're not bad. You're not bad. Alright, I gotta do something harder. Um,
Then one.
top 5 black actors in sci-fi movies.
Okay. Michael Jai White.
Okay. Yep.
So hear me out. I'm pretty sure whoever was in the Predator mask was black.
He was black. Imma give you that one. Imma He was, though, I'm pretty sure he was. Imma Imma let you slide. That's 2.
From Star Trek. He
Okay. Okay.
he was black. I used to watch that shit with my uncle. I remember. Ooh, I cursed. My bad.
No, you're
Um,
good.
sci-fi.
You're missing the most obvious one.
No,
That's not sci-fi. That is not the no, absolutely
I
not.
It's
No.
no, okay. Damn, I'm trying to think of all these sci-fi movies. Alright. I need to broaden
I'll
my
give you a hint. I'll I'll give you a hint.
Oh, Malcolm X. I'm playing. X-Men. Who was on was Beast? Beast was black too, wasn't he?
Oh my god, you're failing so bad right now. Who used to do this?
That's sci-fi, that's Marvel. That's not sci-fi.
It's still sci-fi, it's future. It's future. Man, if you could count the Predator, what are you talking about? How is Black Panther not? It's the second Black Panther had the little aliens like coming from the ocean.
Anybody from Wakanda, those was mermaids. Anybody from Wakanda
They
was
wasn't
not
mermaids because they mermaids.
they lived under their land used to be on top and then it sunk and they adapted underneath the water.
Sidebar here. You don't have to comment on this. Sidebar. Just total sidebar.
Chadwick Boss Chadwick, okay?
Chadwick. Sidebar. Aliens. Go
What?
ahead.
Sidebar what? What happened?
I was gonna say, look, the mermaid theory might be something for the aliens. Now this is the conspiracy theory I might be able to get behind. This one is a solid one.
Evolution. Part of evolution. The mutation of growing
Yeah.
gills underwater.
And it makes sense because here's the theory, right? The theory is we're so off topic, but it's okay. We're gonna be here for about 2 minutes. The theory is right that that aliens aren't actually from outer space. Well, there could be other
Yeah, they're
entities
from
outer,
underwater, you're right.
come from underwater, which would make sense because it's only 10% of the ocean has ever been explored.
Nobody been to the bottom, like
Nobody been to the bottom, so they could
and if they
really be
have, they
down
ain't
there.
came back up, so
That's
yeah.
what I'm trying. And they say all these little theories, and then they won't let us go to Antarctica. This just solid sidebar, solid
Yeah.
sidebar. But you still not off the hot seat though. You still got one more.
Zoe, stop playing with me.
Zoe
Avatar
Kravitz.
Avatar?
You talking about Zoe Saldana, Avatar. Oh yeah, that should have been an easy one. All right, you miss Will Smith. You miss Will Smith.
Damn, Men in Black. Golly.
That's
Will.
crazy.
I said it. Look,
Like that's insane. But not only Men in Black technically was an iRobot a sci-fi. Like that was
yeah,
technically
because
a sci-fi.
you added the futuristic stuff. You're right. So sci-fi Blade, yeah.
Well, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Grandpa, right? You know? I miss a lot, but it's the edible, but it's cool.
Yeah. That part. Um. Okay, let's do one more. Top 5 movies that made you cry or made you feel something.
That's weak. Let me see. That made me cry or made me feel something. So I was drawn to Prisoners. That's a phenomenal movie. Hugh Jackman, Terrence Howard, like and if you got children, it will hit you.
Gotcha.
13 Ghosts, when I first seen it, when it came off, it almost made me cry when it first came out. I was definitely terrified. 13 Ghosts was a good one. The Hills Have Eyes was also a good horror film. Chainsaw Massacre, the first one,
Goodness.
the original. That shit had me like, cause I didn't know somebody said he was still alive and, like, still never caught, so it was like, "Damn, what if he where I'm living?"
That way about, Candyman.
Really?
I remember I watched Candyman for the first time, like, the OG one, like, when I
Mhm.
was an adult, and when I tell you I slept with the lights on that night, I was not I said, this is because it was just too, like it was just too, like, he really could just be out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, anything that's, like, super realistic, like, anybody could just do that and get away with it, I was like, "Yeah, I can't do that."
I see what you're saying. Made me cry. I wonder, did anything really make me cry?
So you missing like I'm talking about it could be emotional like John Q. You didn't cry at John Q when at the
No.
end when Denzel Washington rolling off and he do the little symbol to the sun. It get me every time. I'm toe up every time.
She said every time. Let me think. What made
Boys
me
in the
emotional?
Hood where he was running and got shot. That you didn't feel no type of way.
Ricky, Ricky. No, that wasn't emotional. Game of Thrones made me emotional. That's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You got a weird feeling button. Oh my goodness, that's interesting. Let me ask you this.
Shoot.
Do you feel like, cause I got a theory, I really got a theory. I feel like people who've experienced a certain amount
You
of
know what made
trauma.
me emotional?
What?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it,
That
that's
that and
classic.
and and 7 pounds, like, that shit made me emotional.
I would 7 pounds didn't really do it for me. It didn't really do it for me, but Pursuit of Happiness,
Man, that shit on
yeah.
take the bus with Lil Man with the machine, man, I felt so much
With the machine, and he was just yeah, that was tough. With the baby?
even King Charles made me, emotional a little bit. I was like, "He too hard on them girls, man."
You talking about, King Richard?
Yeah, King
The
Richard.
t
What I say,
yeah,
King Charles? Yeah,
yeah,
King Richard.
King Richard, yeah, no, that was good too. I was watching that, I was like, yeah, that's tough." Anything with the kids is gonna get me every time.
Yeah.
I'm done. Like I said, John Q, Denzel Washington roll off and they do their little symbol thing. As soon as he do that symbol thing, like, okay, what's coming? And it still gets me. It literally still every time. I was just like and Chandler, my fiance, was looking there like, "Are you okay?"
Well,
Alright, couple more. I got this theory that people who have experienced well, 2 theories. I feel like people who are bipolar or multiple personality disorder end up making really great actors and actresses because I feel like they have more access to their emotions quicker, right, than other people. And then my second theory is people who've experienced trauma on a higher level than like average people end up making really good actors or actresses. So do you feel like go ahead.
off of what scale? How can you scale somebody else's traumas over someone else's?
It's not a well, okay, so universal extreme trauma, right? That like is considered like maybe SA, right? That's like just kind of universal, like that's a high tier trauma, right? What else? Witnessing like killings, that's considered like for the average person, like even scientifically how it affects your brain, right? It's considered like a high tier amount of trauma. So just kind of like in general, right? If you've had some of those experiences versus people who haven't, right? It's not a definite thing, but I've noticed a pattern, right, of some of the greatest actors and actresses that I've worked with, or even you could just watch on YouTube, read their books, and hear their
Oh,
stories. It seems like they've experienced a lot of trauma.
so I wouldn't say it's because that's the basis. Throughout life is crazy because I actually study anthropology without even going for a degree in anthropology. I
Hmm.
just always been fascinated about why people choose what actions and decisions they do, why they dress the way they dress, why they think the way they think, and every option that can be fathomable to the mind, right? And I think it's more about what makes the best actor is the person who has experienced fully what it means to be human.
Okay.
And I'm talking across, and that can go into trauma. I get what you're saying. I'm not saying you're wrong at all.
Hmm.
Yes, traumas add into the effect, but I just didn't want it to focus there on traumas. But it applies to everything. How far can you stretch your human to be human, to
Mhm.
experience different experiences. A lot of people get comfortable into the same lifestyle. That's all they see. They got the same routine over and over and over again. Those who travel the world and experience this and this, because that's all you're hired for is experiences, honestly.
Mhm. Mhm.
If I had the experience, like, for instance, I had the experience of being incarcerated, right? So to play someone incarcerated on a film is second nature because I experienced it. I know the mannerisms. I know how you're supposed to stand where you're at a phone booth or in line for food or etc. Right? There's just certain things that go along with it. So I think the best actor is the one who can experience being human to its fullest capability.
No, I agree. I just find it interesting because I feel like, well, there's actual technique to help you access your emotions, right? Whatever technique that you choose to study. And I think to your point, having raw experiences, because the actor doesn't have to be thinking the same thing as the character, right? Like depending on what your technique is. But having access to experiences, you have different things to draw from. So I just find that to be like super unique in the process of acting. All right. What do you wish would change about the industry? Somebody gave you a magic wand right now. They said, "Here
Which
you go,
industry?
filmmaking or television." We'll stick there,
To what
right?
extent?
What do you
Altogether?
mean?
They're separate right now, so I can't include them all together. You got independent, you have network. Which ones we talking about?
That is a good question. Let's stick with independent. Let's stick there. We'll stick there for a second, because fixing network that's a whole nother beast. That's another beast to fry. That's gonna take a lot of different layers. So we're gonna stick with independent. We have a lot more control over what we do independently.
Alright.
What aspect would you change or improve? Might be a better word.
The controlled output.
What do you mean?
I would change whoever picks the blueprint of what is to be shown by our culture or any culture.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Example, I feel like our capabilities of creativity are being limited by what they think we like or what drives the economy. You know what I wish I would change? Our minds will open a little bit more. The typical rah-rah films, for example,
Mhm.
now to a point, it's almost like most networks, like the main networks people are going to is Tubi, All Black, etc. They
Mhm.
won't see anything without that in there because it's the substance we're already watching, right? That's what I
Mhm.
would change. I would broaden the minds of the viewers by adding more depth with creative projects, more sci-fi, more Lovecraft countries, more Vampire Diaries, shit like that, stuff like that. My bad.
You good as a pod. I agree. And so for the business aspect of that, like for me being in the room with those decisions being made, right? About like what
Mhm,
gets greenlit, what gets the fund, what gets the license, blah, blah, blah. The business aspect of that is they are making conscious decisions based off of where, to a certain extent, viewership is. But that's just
mhm,
kind of like society in general right now. Shock value has, to a certain extent, a higher retention rate than something that's necessarily thought provoking, right? Like things that are thought provoking is more of a niche audience these days than, at least that's what's presented, right? Than the bang bang, shoot 'em up, bend it over, bust it open movie, right? And I think to your point, there should be a lot more variety in the independent film space. But the problem with it, it's like three things. It's one, making sure you have an audience who's going to participate, right? Two, the filmmakers, their mindset, if their majority of filmmakers are strictly on a financial mindset, right? They're producing content that they think is either going to get funded, is going to get licensed, or is going to make them the most on whatever platform. And then three, the people who own these platforms are not us.
right.
So like, if that is number 3 to me is probably the biggest thing. If we constantly have people who own these platforms that are not us, how do we expect them to be for us? How do we expect them to fund content that's going to educate
That's more
us?
creative, like Lovecraft
Yep.
Country, and that's what I was getting to. It's that's what I would change. The person
Mhm.
putting those stipulations in there that's stopping our culture from growing.
Mhm. Mhm.
But it's also up to us to do the same thing in the same sense. Ownership, ownership, ownership. There's no reason 5 prominent black people cannot come together with 500K apiece. and create a production company and fund it and recycle and recycle and recycle and recycle utilizing black. Like, it's that simple.
Is and I've tried to have those conversations.
I see you start edging up. I see, yeah.
I would talk we could have a whole nother hour on this subject about some of the conversations and the rooms that I've been in. And the simplest way to say with the problem why that hasn't taken place, right? I feel like it is totally a personal statement that I'm about to say. I feel like there's leftover of the mentality of what's the best way to say this? If
Ego,
it's ego, but it's also the mindset that if somebody else wins or somebody
that
else
you not winning. Exactly.
that you're
It
not winning.
the slavery mentality. I'm gonna
It
say it.
is. I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah, it is definitely it's a slavery mentality that such and such got off the plantation. So let me
Oh,
tell.
he's a bigger muscular black dude. Oh, let me
Mhm.
beat him up so I can take his spot. Like, the fuck? I mean, yeah, what the fuck? Like, come on now. Imma say so common. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. In due time, I'll be doing it. In due time.
I digress. But I believe in solutions, and I feel like the solution to that thing, right, that we're talking about is collaboration. People, whether it's actors teaming up saying we're gonna make our own film, or it's producer, actor, writer, director to say, why are we sitting here charging each other when we could all just be eating with each other? Why don't we all show up? You got a camera, you got lights, you got this, you got that. Let's come together and then we can all own a
So,
piece of the pie.
give you one better. Collaborating laterally, not vertically.
Yes, that part.
And viewers, if
Yes.
you don't know what that means build your own table amongst the ones that are like-minded that's around you as of right now. Remember, people do come in seasons, so see them as their true value, but it's okay for people to fall off. People views and plans change. But
Mhm.
remember this too. I don't know, we get off of now, I'm just saying
Oh,
quotes.
you good.
You're born looking like your parents, but you die looking like your decisions. So be smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
On that note, we're gonna go ahead and segue to our last question because there's nothing else to say after that. Um, in five, you're gonna finish the sentence. In 10 years, Veon Selman dot whatever you want.
He will have 10 theatrical films. He will be a household name. So you know where Michael B. Jordan sits? Veon Selman might sit in front of him, you know? We're all in the same class. I don't mind sitting beside him, but he might be sitting in front of him.
I'll rock with
So
that. I'll rock with that. Anything else that you want to add, say that we didn't discuss?
stay true to you. Build that team laterally. Yeah, take the ones that are around you and utilize your guys' brains. I mean, more minds make more answers than one. So, yeah, that's it. And just keep working, don't stop. Discipline wins the race every time. Well, that's it.
Well, tell people where they can follow you, what you got coming out next that they want to check out.
All right, so you can follow me on I'm gonna toot my own horn, toot. You actually Google me. You can Google Veon Selman. Every platform that I'm on will pop up there. But if you go on Instagram and stuff, it's official_Veon. I believe that's it under every other platform. But I utilize Instagram the most, sometimes TikTok. Other things you can look out for, we have the first holiday coming to Hulu this Christmas. We have the third trilogy piece to Turnt by Man Robinson. I believe the first two are on Amazon Prime, so that one is coming out this fall. We got I don't know, we got a lot. Just stay tuned because we got a lot. We got 13 other projects coming. Um, yeah, we're blessed, booked, and busy. Oh, keep God first.
That
That's
part.
number one, and that's all I got.
All right. Well, this has been the Soul Talk. I appreciate you guys for tapping in. Y'all know where to follow me. But beyond that, just like he said, stay blessed, keep it moving, keep pushing, keep working. I'll see you guys next time.
So